Why are these black people attacking Jewish people? They said black people feel like the Jews don't share their success. These quotes, you can find them.
The way people look you with the money connect. You better relax, make you swallow your pride when you come on this side. Come to Cairo, make I show you the hero who cushion this.
Welcome to the Brotherhood podcast. I'm your host for today, Senju, and this is my co-host.
And for the glory,
and Hashwell, Jogram Hashwell, HASCHWA1TH on Twitter.
Yeah, this is a podcast that focuses on men discussions where we shop men affairs, we talk about men issues related to man as a whole, mankind as a whole, but mainly men. So today we're having a debate between my two co-hosts, Hashwell and For the Glory. The discussion is about black and white violence, whatever they call it, systematic racism, white supremacy.
Yes.
That's what making point is against black and white violence, and he is saying they deserve it. But today we are going to put a debate. We are going to discuss it in depth, and everybody share their foresight. So, say black and white deserve it. Why do you say that?
well, over time in history, when blacks were sold for slavery and all that, after when slavery was over, when America gave legislation that it's illegal to have slaves, after then, even after throughout the time that they gave black a country, Liberia, when they created Liberia and said, okay, well, blacks go to Liberia and leave America. After all that, they still found a way to make blacks slave. Do you understand? They still found a way to cripple homes, black families, black men. They stopped them from working in factories. They gave their wives money to leave their husbands and raise children on their own. They brought drugs to black neighborhoods to fund the war in Nicaragua, Cuba, to fund war for whatever reason. Politicians, they use drugs to destroy black homes. And now, even after that, after all that, we still realize that in 2022, we are still slaves to these people. In the sense that they profit off, can you always say traumatize and monetize, right? Traumatize and monetize. They traumatize blacks. And again, they found a way to just like crumble the black spirit. Like they crumble the spirit in such a way that these people can't even see the light. Like they don't even understand that these people don't even understand that they are slaves. In the sense that black people were not organized. They found a way to make us focus on chains, gold, beaches. Like if you go for a party and you hear that there are some ladies twerking on the table, you don't have to guess. You know that these people are black. Those ones are black people twerking on the table. They found a way over time to just make us behave a certain way. Make our people behave like animals. So, yes, they deserve the animalistic behavior they are getting because they made us this way. That is my point. They made us this way. This is how they've chosen to make the black race, the black people, because we are their biggest market in America. The black people are their biggest market. Sports, entertainment, prison. The prison is a business. We all know this. The prison is a big business, and the black people are the biggest contributors in that business. We are the biggest consumers of the prison system. Rap culture, Michael Jackson, our biggest icon, one of our biggest icons anyway. They took the same thing. You speak out, you get lashed, and you make an example of the baddest guy, the biggest of us, the best of us. They make an example out of just to keep the rest in line. So yes, they deserve the animalistic behavior they're getting. They deserve the violence. Of course, I don't wish violence on any innocent person. I don't wish violence. I don't want people to die or be beaten in elevators or be thrown in trash cans. or whatever. But still, black on black violence is still the highest. Why? You want to tell me? Wait, are you saying the government cannot stop violence in Chicago? Like they just can't stop violence in Chicago. They just can't take the guns away, like from the gangs. Like they just can't do things properly.
One of his primary points is that black people were taken as slaves to America, and even though white people liberated them and said, okay, we are wrong for slavery, take this portion of land in Africa, you own it, right? Go back. Majority of blacks refused to return, right? The first leaders of Liberia were blacks, that's American blacks who returned, and there are records of how they treated the local blacks when those people returned, and it wasn't the best because they felt they had a certain sense of social. Now, when it comes to slavery, slavery is an institution that is worldwide, right? There's no culture that doesn't have some sort of slavery. The slaves that went to America were sold to the Arabs, were sold to other traders by fellow Africans, right? So even while they are being loaded on the ships, even those slave castles in Senegal and all these places, all these ports of slavery, it is fellow Africans that sold them and made money. They got rum, they got mirrors, they got horses, they got weapons to be able to continue their campaign. Because slavery is usually indenture, or when you capture a new village. Capture a village, you kill, the fighting age, you carry, or you capture what you can, and you sell them to the coast. There was a woman on BBC, a Nigerian woman, who detailed how her great-grandfather used to capture and sell slaves. So that's one. So slavery is a global,
It's a business.
yes, it's a global phenomenon, right? So putting that on white people is a very, very strange thing because it is a phenomenon that even we inflicted. In Nigeria today, you can go and buy a human being for $400. It was on Reuters a few months ago. You cannot do that in America. But this one, I'm talking about an illegal place where they go and kidnap, rape women and keep them in what they call baby factories. In this country, in Africa today. And those children, they buy them, they use them for many different terrible things. These are black people doing these things to black people. That's one. So saying that they deserve the violence because of slavery, I think is strange and incorrect. That's one. Two, the Moors, who are Africans, the Moors captured Spain, Italy, Portugal, right? And they were there for 800 years. They ruled those places, and it was slavery that they were doing. They were selling white slaves to the Arabs. So, saying that slavery is, because of slavery, that means they deserve the violence, I think is a strange thing because in the end, the global opposition to slavery was started by white people. That's one. Now, when you come down to, let's say, post-slavery, he talked about how even beyond slavery, white people did something.
Some people did something?
Things that make black people violent, turn black people into the animals that they are. I am using his words. Now, I think that generally there should be some sort of personal responsibility. There are people who said, okay, this violent music, I am not going to make it anymore. There's a guy called Smart, Demon Dash, same thing. He said, look, this thing, you're trying to do this thing to our culture. I choose not to do it. We'll do it on our own. That's what Demon Dash says. Demon Dash was one of the biggest producers. He's alive, he's making his money. It's a choice. And the most important part of the Kanye West discussion is that what the person Kanye West is talking about is not white people, it's Jews.
Yeah.
No, like it's Jews. The names he mentioned, like Demondash mentioned the names. I sent the video because I want people to refer to this. Leo Cohen, David Moskovitz.
My beef was with Lior because I think he's a fake CEO and I think he's fronting on my culture, but he can't front on anybody else. And I'm calling him out publicly and I want him to stop trying to rape my culture, go make some money with some other people. Like her agenda to open up asylum was to go, it didn't say nothing about going to get no rock and roll. It was go to get people that they don't even care about and make money from them. Yeah, just get money in their culture. Let them do it. Let's let the violence stay there. Let's benefit from the violence and not bring it, you know what I mean? It was like they have people that their job is to create beef so that they can monetize it, pause. But they don't let their culture feel it. I had a beef with Jay, always with Lior and his whole crew. He's the one that ruined Rockefeller, Lior Cohen.
There was
Like, aren't y'all curious? Like, y'all been talking about the same thing for 5 years. Don't y'all want to know about the other side of the story? Ask about Lior, Todd Moskowitz, and all those players. You know, Julie Greenwald. Ask them about their perspective on what happened. Why don't they get questioned? They make money off us every day. Let's make some money off them.
So you understand? The people who say NWA are Jews. The record label owners are Jews. You understand? And even Gucci Mane also talked about how he was making music in the studio and a Jewish executive came and said, no, you have to make these things more violent. White people's concern generally is, one, of course, white people are the biggest consumers of hip hop. If you ask Lil Wayne or any other person, they're the ones who consume hip hop the most. That's why people like Eminem would be the biggest. You understand? So we don't see white people doing the type of Chicago level violence. We all listen to the same hip hop music. You understand? But it's only black girls that you see twerking on police cars. We've seen those videos. It's only black people that we see looting stores, whether during a hurricane or not during a hurricane. You understand? So I think that there is an inherent problem with blacks and just a certain lack of personal responsibility. It is, secondly, a manifestation of envy. What drives this black violence against whites in particular is envy, and they talk about it because in Brooklyn, New York, the Jewish community there, they suffer a lot of violence from blacks. And their city council person, Lori Pombo, they asked her, why are these black people attacking Jewish people? They said, black people feel like the Jews don't share their success. These quotes, you can find them, right? They feel that Jewish people don't share their success. I see that as envy. They see Jewish people doing well, they attack them. They see the Asians, the Chinese people will come, they don't speak English, they do well in school, they set up small businesses, they go in there and they rob. What's his name? Dr. Omar Johnson was talking about it on the Breakfast Club. He said that, you know, the Koreans, you know, when you go into their store, you shoot them because, you know, because they don't trust black people. But it's like, the reason they don't trust black people is because black people go there and rob. I don't think that they will go there and be listening to, you know, Lil Baby or whatever, or The Baby, when they're going to rob. Do you understand? It's the music comes from the culture. That's why country music is not about riding and killing bitches. It's about sitting on your farm, because that's where the music comes from. So the music comes from your environment, it comes from your inspiration, it comes from your lifestyle. So saying that the music, you know, Jewish people taught black people how to make music about stabbing each other, therefore, no. Drill, grime. You understand? Hip hop, yes, maybe NWA, fine, but drill music, grime music, these are all black, you know, manifestations, subgenres of hip hop. Right? So I think that, one, there's a bit of personal responsibility, and the most important part of this entire discussion is the envy that black people feel towards whites. And that's what drives the violence. The envy drives hatred, and hatred comes to violence.